Shalom, welcome to another crown jewel word analysis video. Today I'm in another location, so where would be a better place than to look at the crown jewel as in Likkutei Yirah 9 itself, right? Written by, this is the magnum opus by our great master Yirah H'ari. Crown jewel, Lashon HaKodesh, the keys to the holy language, are being taught in here in great length. Also, the purpose of my videos is to bring into practice so that you can practice yourself and start learning it yourself. So you're beholding the crown jewel for those who are not familiar with it yet. We'll see, just short, the three mother letters, Aleph, Mem, and Shin. Mem having two variants. The Mem Sofit is the final Mem which comes at the end of a word. These are the four elements, right? Fire, or light, if you will, air, variables, water, Mem Sofit, solids, stone, earth, liquids. I should have included here. Also, to these three mother letters are connected, each are three elemental letters, making a total of 12 elemental letters, leaving us with the 7 double letters: Tav, the hand of God; Beis, housed within; the Gimel, which is progress; the Fei, which is mouth; the Kaf, to carry; the Reish, which is forms; and the Dalet, which is door or path to without walls, a path without walls, I should say. So these are all the letters. Today I want to do the word, the English word see, seeing, if you will. That would be for the S a samech, which is cycle. That would be an ayin for the E, which is behold, external sight. It's an eye. If you spell out the ayin, you get the word eye. So its value is 70, hints at 70 nations in many occasions. So we'll have two E's in the word see, so it's 2 times 70. We'll work it out on paper in a little bit. So I wanted to just take a look at this word in here, and then seeing. So I would be a yud, nun would be the N, and the progress gimel would be the G. Spirit, soul, progress. Okay? But we're treating a word that already has 2 eyes to it. Okay, so a plurality of eyes. And before we proceed drawing out, I want to read a certain section of Likkutei Yirah 9. By the way, I have to mention it is available on Amazon.com and bookbaby.com. If you're not if you cannot afford a physical copy, we have a free PDF file for you available. Okay, so but for study purposes, a hard copy is very useful. You see, I put a lot of tabs in it, and it also has 400 extra pages, about 400 extra pages in the back, which are very advanced, I should say, which are not available on the free PDF. Okay, so that being said, let's go to the source about the plurality of eyes, because it's about sight, it's about physical sight versus re'eh, to see, to truly see, which has not to do with physicality. Even though you can behold in everything around you the divine code of Hashem, it's not about physical sight. Okay, so let's go there. That would bring us to page 71. Is that correct? Yes, the eyes of the Lord. I wanted to start here. So, 210. So from the red in the eye emerge 7 runners that support the left side and glow in the fire of the north side. They are attached to the red color in order to expand in the world to reveal the ways of the wicked. This is what is written. Those 7, the eyes of Yud-Heh-Vav-Keh, they rove to and fro from the whole earth. This is the plurality of eyes. You can see it here in the Tikkun. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut. Okay, so that's a plurality of eyes. Rove to and fro. So the commentary, red here refers to Gevura and the desire body. Here we see it is written the eyes, plural, always referring to 7 eyes. And this is because it was stated upon one stone were 7 eyes. Eyes, plural, always alludes to 7. And remember this principle as it will be touched on later. In example, open my eyes, 7 forms. And in another place, his eyes, 7 forms were opened. This is associated also with the Satan, who is called the evil inclination. And it was stated in Job in regards to his function, Satan said to and fro through the whole earth. This is the same as is stated here. Those 7, the eyes of Yud-Heh-Vav-Keh, they rove to and fro through the whole earth. This is because the evil inclination, Satan, are those 7 eyes. In example, those 7 forms when they draw from the left side or the evil inclination. Gevura is the secret of the north, and it is known the angel Samael is located here, who is the angel of Esav, Edom, Gevura. These eyes are the collection of negative experiences through which these 7 forms experience life in the lens of the negative. The collective sum of experience, which is the serpent that Samuel in example negativity rides on. The good inclination is now described in the following verse. From the green emerge 7 lights that circle to the south side. They attach themselves to spread in the world and discover the ways and deeds of the people, either for good or for bad. As is written, for his eyes are upon the ways of men. Now, commentary. From the green refers to the Sefirot Netzach and the soul form. Afterwards it mentions these 7 lights circle the south side. It is known south is the Sefirot Chesed. These refer to the spirit form and the soul form, which are nourished from the side of holiness. In example, the good inclination as opposed to the evil inclination. These 7 lights are the varying good experiences we have. In example, the lights amongst the darkness. Here the good inclination is personified as light, which is a giving force in that it provides light, as opposed to the 7 eyes which receive and conceal the light. With this, we can understand how the evil inclination conceals the light and the good inclination reveals the light. Okay, so, and you see here, ayin is a value of 130, 5 times Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. The other ayin is 130, 5 times Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. We can also see the Gevurot and the Chesedim in there. There's a duality here, right? So, because 2 eyes is also plural. Okay, still plural, and one in the system, if you do not connect to the higher system, is always in need of studying Torah. It's a cycle, and it traps you in a cycle, in a lower cycle. Okay, this is the lower cycle, but don't want to reveal too much yet. So let's start drawing out the words and the information there. Okay, so we had seeing, right? That would be samech, an ayin, another ayin. So this is first C, right? You see. First of all, C has now two eyes, okay? 70 is also nations, two sides of the 7 forms, okay? So we'll draw a tree later. Maybe I'll do it here now. These are the 7 Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, working upon the Malchut, right? So each tree has 10 sub-Sefirot. Each Sefirot has 10 sub-Sefirot. So 10 times 7 is 70. These are your 70 nations, because they're not connected to the Rosh. Okay, so each Sephira has 2 sides, so it's 70, 70. This is your full Zerampin model on both sides, cycling without connecting to the Rosh, clearly. And this is your cycle. Samech was cycles, right? Cycles. Cycles of the nations, okay? So this is the seeing, the physical seeing, the senses, right, which came about through the fall. Okay, interesting, the value of Samech is 60, 70 plus 70 plus 60, 140 plus 60 is 200. Now, 200 already is a couple of things. It's namely the milui of the Samech Mem, Samech Mem, just 60 plus 40 is 100, plus 20, 120, plus 80 is 200. Samech Mem. It's also the squaring of Elohim. Also 200. Okay, now this system should be clear. Toiv and Ra, right eye, left eye, fronts, backs, it all comes down to the same, right? The seeing, Yud, Nun, so Yud, Nun, Gimel. The Yud is a 10, the Nun is 50, the Gimel is 3, makes a total of 63. Sag, 63 name, because the level of Sag is bariatic, right? Bariatic, and the fall, but also the ascension has to do with the level of Beria, okay? It clearly says, it clearly shows us that the mother created without the authority of the father, right? She used that light, but in the Zohar it clearly says, why did you create him? I told you he would sin, and that's Abba speaking to Ima, okay? So the fall, the mother was cast down to the ground also, right? Clearly says so in Yechezkel 19, verse 10 and 12. Your mother was cast down, but the way of ascension is also through the mother, right? So here we have like Bina, Beria, world of Beria. This is Asiya, this is Yetzirah, this is Beria, It's Atzilut. It's the Father. So, the fall. The ascension, same thing. 7 days, Chesed Gevurah Tiferes Netzach Yesod Malchut, under the mother, which is Ima. On the 8th day, which is Ima, a fire offering to Hashem, which is Abba. Okay? So the fall came through Sag, but the ascension has also to do with the level of Sag. Your mother's Torah. Do not forsake your mother's Torah. Okay? Bariatic. Sag 63, very important connection there, because as we go, you will see that the potential lays within these letters as well. Okay, so you can see the fall therein, but you also see the potential of ascension, which is your true oila, your fire, your ascension, your real Brit, your real covenant, the real circumcision is your mother's Torah. Okay, not mutilation of little children. Okay, so let's proceed. So just to complete it, I will write here, Toiv, Ra, but eventually this closed serpent always leans to the left, right? You can try to keep fighting it, but it always leans to the left. And 70, so there was these 7 forms on 2 sides, okay? Good snake, bad snake, or one snake, eventually. Okay, so where were we? Then I found something interesting, because these 2 eyes, I already said it, Ayin plus Ayin. And this is 130, 70 plus 10 plus 50. Okay, 80 plus 50 is 130. 130, you already saw it in Likkutei, right on the page. The 2 eyes, right eye, left eye. And later we'll read some Zohar about this as we go. So this is 260, and 260 is a very interesting number. It's many things, but the first and foremost would bring me to the Torah, because really I have here the Chumash. Let me see if it's clear inside. Yes, the Chumash. And this is in Bereshis 11, verse 30 and 32. So this really, we all know about Abraham coming from his father, away from, right? And the next would be Lech Lecha, go, right? Go to you, but it's a whole other study. But where he, so to say, got to away from the system of his father, Terach, right? But this is not, the Torah is not a book about physical people and historical stories that once happened. It is actual. It is now. There's no time limit to it. It's not. It's so much more. We cannot treat it as such. That's a sin. So what is this showing us? This is really about a great transition, which we will see in this word "see" to the word of Re and Yirah. The difference there is where the system of Terach, right, how that transforms, how it changes, and you'll see it as we go in the numbers. So now we see a couple of things there. So they arrived at Haran. This is the first orange part. 8 Haran, it says, which 8 is witness. And then Vayichul Yemi Terach Hamesh Shenim Umatim Shana Vayamat Terach Becharan. Okay, so the days of Terach were 205 years, and Terach died in Haran. So what is this really saying? Okay, so we'll draw some things out, because we had a 260 here, and we just read Terach Becharan, sorry. We just read Becharan, in Haran, Terach dies. So, but first, to understand Becharan, because 260 is Becharan. Becharan. Haran is an interesting word. Let's split it up. Char would be joy. No, wrath. Sorry, wrath. Switch it around. And Ran is joy. So your duality, a base is also the duality, right? Haran itself values 258. So you could also read it as the place, but it's too early to say it. Okay, first I have to show you what 258 is. Okay. 260. Becharan. Who died in Becharan? Terach died in Becharan. So let's work on this name, Terach. Let's reveal what Terach means. Okay, we have a Tav, we have a Reish, and we have a Chet. Now, I can divide it in many ways, but first in the order that it's written, we have the hand of God that forms, Chet is 8, or a fence. It both works because Terach is known to be Chochmah. Not the clean side of Chochmah, of course. We'll get to that in a bit. But if you look, the 8th day is Bina, so there's 8 lower than Chochmah, right? So the hand that forms the 8, the lower 8, that system of lower 8. So that's precise, which creates a fence also, of course, and that creates that cycle, that closed system, okay? More about this name is, namely, if you repermutate it, you get Tav Chet. Tav Chet value 408, which is the value of Arur in Kollel. Arur means cursed, and leaves us with a Reish. So these are the cursed forms, okay? How many? 8. Where? 400. 400 is Malchut, is the world. 400 hints at the world of Asiya Malchut. So 400, 8 forms, cursed in Malchut, as the mother was cast down to the ground as well. Okay, clearly says so, Yechezkel. Okay, already gave you the source, so feel free and look it up. It's all there. Next thing about this name, I see it says the following. Tachat, beneath, Reshis Chochmah. Especially for what's coming next. Reshis Chochmah. So it's beneath the beginning of wisdom. It's a lower system. It's beneath there. So it operates as, maybe I should say that it's exactly because Ima, Elohim really created with the light of Chokhmah. Elohim created with the light of Chokhmah, but Chokhmah is not truly giving authority and cooperating in this creation. Elohim did that by himself. Okay? So Elohim saw the light and thought that it was good, used that light and created without Abba. So this Terach, he is Chokhmah, but not in its full and not in its clean sense, and not the front. So one could say the backside of Chokhmah. Anyway, it leads at the lower forms that were in a fallen state. And that's exactly what Avram does. He breaks away from that system. And this is why he's really the Ger. He changes and he makes a covenant towards that Or Yashar, right? To that straight light. Okay, so let's proceed, because something else, the value here, the combined value, I'm not going to count it out for you, it's Gematria ordinal plus Katan, is exactly, you have to take my word, either or calculate it yourself, is 2001, which is a full tree of Samech Mem or Elohim in the squaring, right? And the squaring is an emanation, so that means that it emanates from, right? It emanates from. So Samech Mem, tenfold, a full tree. And what is a full tree? Is Yud is 10, right? So is 10 times 200. Keep it at Samech Mem. Full tree of Samech Mem. So. Okay. Because man is a tree, but there's different kind of trees, of course. So that was really the name of Terach and the system that it represents, so to say. Okay, that fallen system that it represents, and he dies in Haran. And this is really now, if you don't see the individuals as characters loose from each other, but you see a whole process of progress wherein this system of Terach dies, because they are all depicting really the emanation of Zerampin within, from Ima, right? This is what the Torah is about. So now you see Avram takes over. And why does he die in Haran? So what is this telling us? So Becharan was 260, and that's really the 258. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we also read Et Haran, and Et Haran values 333. Ein Dalet 74 plus 8, 82 plus 200, 282 plus 53, 33. 8 Haran, and 333 is the value of HaChoshech, the darkness. So from darkness comes light. So he dies in Haran. Okay, Bereshis 11:32, we just read it, has a sum total there of 1324, and this is also the value of Tehillim 47:9, where it says that God Elohim reigns over the nations. He reigns over the nations, and that's interesting because this is the system of Toiv and Ra. You see it two sides, right? 70 nations, two sides. Who reigns over it? Lower God, of course. This is Elohim. Okay, so that's still speaking about the system. You see a lot of connections. This just to show you how you can look around and what you can do with Crown Jewel, with Gematria, all these things. Okay, so it gives you a lot of information there. So we covered about that part. Now I want to read with you. Yes, let's go there. Let's go to the source of the Zohar. I'm not at home, so I will do it on a cellular phone. So now this is the Kabbalah Center version. In the future we'll use the Shal Mocho version. Yirah Rabbah 8, verse 54. It is written, behold, the eye of Hashem is upon those who fear him. This is singular. Tehillim 33:18. And it is also written, the eyes of Hashem, they rove to and fro through the whole earth, which we just read in Likkutei Yirah, right? If they merit, the eye of Hashem is upon those who fear him. That is the upper eye. If they have no merit, the eyes of Hashem, they rove to and fro, the lower eye. So, eye singular versus eye plural. And you see here, Kechiv, right, is written has a value of 432, which already is the value of Harai Mehemna, the faithful shepherd. Gives us a single eye, Ein, and two Yuds, which is the name for Hashem. And then it says El Yirah. El Yirah. Okay? And this El Yirah is those who fear him. Okay? Those who fear him. And the root is Rei, to see, of this word. Right? So let's go to this word El Yirah. So El Yirah, let's write it out on this side. Let's go to the ascension. Two Yuds. Value is 31, 10, 200, 1, 10, and 6. 6 plus 10, 16. Plus 1, 17, 217, 227, 258. Sounds familiar? 258. Okay? And what did it say? Those who fear him, right? And that brings me to another source, very important source, because awe, Yirah, with a hey, Yirah, to be in awe, right, is Yirat Hashem Rashit Chochmah. Yirah, awe, is the beginning of wisdom. Without awe, without that fear, one fulfills nothing of the law. And with awe, one fulfills the whole law. It's written in Zohar. I'll show it to you now. So here we go. So the precepts of the Torah, right? Prologue. Very important part. Prologue 21, precept number 1. Here comes. So 189. In the beginning Elohim created. This is the first and foremost precept of all. And this precept is called the fear of the Hashem, which is called the beginning. As it is written, the fear of Hashem is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of Hashem is the beginning of knowledge. Because this fear, awe, is called the beginning, and it is the gateway through which one enters into faith. So based on this precept, the whole world is able to exist. Now, and here goes in 194, and because of this, the place that is named the fear of Hashem is called the beginning of knowledge. And this precept, Mishlei 1, verse 7, and this precept is included here. This is the source and the main principle of all the other precepts of the Torah. Whoever observes the precept of fear observes all the others, and he or she who does not observe the precept of fear does not observe any of the precepts of the Torah, because this fear is the gateway to everything. You see it here, Yirat, the upper word. This is very important, people. This is very important to understand and to learn. Join school.com/Yirah and learn true Kabbalah. Learn to unite written and oral Torah. Be a fire offering to Hashem. Right? Yirah, Yirat, Beyirat. The value of Beyirat is 613. Okay? 613, and it's rooted in the word ray, to see. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of things, because beyirat, in awe, to be in awe, is the value 613, which are the mitzvot. It just told us who has the proper fear fulfills all the law. This is what it hints at. And 613 is namely also the Gematria of Israel, Goyim, Echad. Meaning to say that all the illusion of separation and division that we create, there's only Hashem, there's only one, there's only, all the rest is what we create in our Toiv and Ra system of seeing. Two eyes of judgment, right? Eyes of judgment, while in reality there's only objective reality, Kedusha, right? And through the Aleph Tav and through the ground jewel, we see Kedusha, we see the divine patterns, we see a reality which is beyond physical sight, right? Physical sight is a lie. Everything your senses perceive is filtered through your sum of experience, right? These are your forms. They have an opinion, they have a feeling, they have an emotion, they have something that forms it, that pollutes it, right? It doesn't come out as reality. It's only your perception. Okay, it does not define reality. Now this 258 is very interesting because we saw it here, and you'll see that everything hangs together in two sides. Okay, so just like we saw in Sag, which is where everything fell, but also the ascension goes back through that level. So Beriatic Torah to start with. Now 258, which was the value of Haran, is the following. The Chochmah Bina Das of Zerampin is developed in the Netzachoid Soid of Ima. Netzachoid Soid of Ima, okay? This is the Netzachoid Soid of Ima. then the Chokhmah, Bina, Das were developed there. Now we know that Elohim created, so these are Elohim values 86, and 86 times 3 is 258 also, okay? So it hints at a pregnancy, and where it went wrong is also where it can be made right, because 68, 86 is also a deficiency. So there's a deficiency. This hints at the Ibur process, and one that is blessed by being in awe, by seeing, can receive an Ibur, right? And an Ibur is an upgrade of your soul, but cannot come without circumcision first and foremost. Circumcision, fire offering to Hashem. One can proceed into receiving an Ibur, which is level Chaya. Chaya is the world of Atzil. This is Chaya, comes from here, word of Atzil. So that's like the connecting to Abba, because there was no connection. And like Terach was that corrupted system of Chokhmah, which is not the real Chokhmah to its fullness. Now one can, through the fire offering and through the ascension, prepare its vessel to start studying from the one that brings down the Torah of Atzil and receive that soul level of Chaya. Okay, so this is a process, this is a dedication, this is a marriage, this is a devotion to Hashem, and you already see it in this Goyesher word, which is then the Klipothic word, because see, and we just showed you that triangular expansions are emanations, right? And this would be Samach, Samach Ein, Ein. The Katan value thereof, that means small, 666,777, is 39, equals Tal, which is the dew. There's always dew. Just like Nebuchadnezzar was cast to the ground like a behemoth, like an animal, but there was still dew, okay? So there's potentiality. The ordinal value thereof would be 4 times 15, 45, and 3 times 16, which is 58, making a total of 93 ordinal. And 93 ordinal is the value, ordinal value of Melech HaMashiach. Because none other can give that Ibur, that spark, than the Rai Mahemna, the elevated state of Moshe, right? It clearly says so in the Tanya. Tanya 42, Likkutei Yirah 42. It explains how Moshe includes all the other Abatai, and how he includes that spark of all of Israel. And I'm not speaking about a physical people, but about Yashar El, those who stand in the Or Yashar, those who devote themselves to that marriage, right? Not by being perfect, but by starting to live for the glory of the Holy One, blessed be He, instead of the forms, right? That want something, that feel something, that judge something, that, you know. So this is really your life path. It's not just a study or a thing you do and, oh, I go to the church on Sunday. No, this is really To die for Torah, for me, is not a physical death, which is of course inevitable. The corpse, the body will die, but this also death is just another state of perception. Okay, the Western world thinks that's the end, but it's a different state of perception, right? You're not your body, so we should not be focused on that. But for me, to die for Torah means to die to the forms, right? To do away with what you want and what you like and what you find and what you and not let that serpent voice decide the outcome of your actions, your choice, because your choice is all you have. That's what you are. Your choice can animate between your forms or between what you know and learn to be, what is glorifying the higher, so to say, or the inner, I should say, because it's not a place up there, it's inside, right, really. Because if we look at up there, then again you're going to look at the senses, and it's not about the senses. The senses are exactly what is not reality. So yes, and then you see that it emanates, Melech HaMashiach emanates from the nations. It's not that the nations precede him, oh no, God forbid, because he is the Or Haganus, he's there from the beginning. But emanating in the sense, as the highest fell the lowest, right? We need a king. You need a king, which is in Asiya all the way down, even though he's the highest light. And that's why you find that the Rai Mahemna written in the Zohar many times, is why they don't want you to read the Zohar. The faithful shepherd has exactly the same Gematria of value as Yirah H'ari. So, but I'm not here to hand you Messiah on a stick. That's not it. What I do want to show you also is that Yirah then is rooted in the word Re, to see. Re, to see Yud, because we're not connected to Yud at all, right? We are created by a created thing, Elohim. To see Yud, okay? So that's a high level, that's really restoration of the breach. There's a breach between Abba ve'Ima, and we are the foolish son created by Elohim, right? But Re, Yud, Yirah, so connected. And you just read at the beginning of wisdom, Yirat Hashem, right? The awe of Hashem is the beginning of wisdom and the beginning of knowledge. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and till the next video, back on the big crown jewel, of course, and many blessings. Shalom.